As we move on to week 4, I'm continuing to wrap my head around a progression of skills within a standard. And so I've started working with Reading Foundations 2, which is Demonstrate Understanding of Spoken Words, Syllables, and Sounds, Phonemes. So I've looked at the standards that are in this band. The red are kindergarten and the orange are first grade, and put together what seems like somewhat of a logical progression to me, although there will be a lot of overlap. It's interesting that I found that there's a standard in kindergarten and again in first, and so I believe that the idea would be mastery then by the first grade. What strikes me about this particular standard is the focus on the spoken, the oral focus, the hearing, the sounds, the speech. So it's a great foundation then to really work on what sounds students are hearing and then producing. Now, one of my favorite resources that I go to quite frequently when I need a little help is Words Their Way. And they've gone through many different editions. What I like about some of their newer editions is that they are now coming with online access to a PD toolkit. And so you get a code to access the online materials, and I'll share that at the end of the video. Particularly in this standard, there are a lot of great resources and activities to tap into for just that listening for sounds, particularly the use of songs for rhyming. And so, great go-to. Also, if you're not aware, the Ohio Model Curriculum offers some resources and ideas too. A resource I'm going to share with you digitally is a card deck from Recipe for Reading. This is one of the third ones in their assessment deck. I've used it for assessment, but I think it would also be a great tool for working on sounds within words and saying the words, having students try to identify the sounds. I think it's interesting that within here there are some nonsense words as well. But these are all consonant, vowel, consonant word patterns, or excuse me, words. Another popular resource is an Elkonin box. Elkonin boxes are great for that sound piece. I found some online with pictures to go with it, but easy to make your own. As you say a word, and I've seen this used a couple different ways. I've had my own favorite ways of using them. I like to use candy as markers. But as you say a word, students can then slide in the sounds they hear. B, d. Or you could ask them to listen for a particular sound. Jeep. Where do you hear the sound P makes? Jeep. And so they have to listen and distinguish to hear that it comes at the end. So it's a great auditory discrimination activity. Peach. What sound do you hear here in the middle? So those are Elkonin boxes. Another favorite that I've always loved playing with are Spoonerisms. They're verbal errors, but you put them into print and they're a lot of fun. Runny Babbitt by Shel Silverstein really plays with this idea of Spoonerisms. And I've got a short video clip that I found of one of the poems. Here's Runny's Cat and Hoat. So it's fun for the children to listen, and on Scramble, hat and coat. And so those are Spoonerisms. When we think about segmenting and listening for individual sounds as well, while I'm not a fan of worksheets, I think that Recipe for Reading also offers some resources that can be very helpful. Pictures are great for associating sounds. And in this particular activity, students would then look at the pictures and try to identify the pictures that have the S blend at the beginning. What I find is I often have to distinguish what the pictures are. Smile, skunk. This is tricky because shoe is a digraph. Here's another example. These then are the final consonant blends, which are even harder to work on. So you have to identify each picture. Let's see, I think stilts, spill, and quilt. So going for the t at the end there. And so it's tricky because we can have spill and stilt, and they'll hear the S at the beginning. So again, it's just about the distinguishing. Also, another recipe for reading resource are the syllabication methods and poems. I find that these are kind of interesting because they're very much designed to have very easily segmented syllables and words that are easier to read, and then just looking for those rhymes. One thing that I will caution for teachers with older children, when you're thinking about the idea of rhymes, it's best, I think, to work with rhymes in an auditory way because they're looking for often the same spellings. And of course, as we know, we can have words that rhyme that aren't spelled the same. So that does add another challenge. So this is just kind of how I've been wrapping my head around breaking this standard down. So going back to the continuum for this standard, I want to take a quick peek at interactive rhyme sorts from the Words Their Way online PD toolkit, and then demonstrate a quick picture sort that is also available on this site. So I've logged into the PD toolkit, which is accessible because a code is given in the Words Their Way book. I'm going to go to the sorts. And I'm going to select, let's see, okay, here it is, the interactive sort. So I'm going to choose a rhyme with 3 categories here. So I can start this particular sort, practice or test. What I like about this sort is that I've got the option of
Hi,
hearing the sounds,
tie,
tie, and cry rhyme. So I can sort that up there.
shell,
Shell and bell.
smell,
So what I like about this is that it focuses on
3,
the sounds here.
3,
Okay, 3 key.
yell,
I want out a sound, pie cry. The thing about working with rhyming words is that they are not always spelled.
peas,
Okay. They are not always spelled the same.
fry,
Spelled the same way they sound. So that's a rhyming sort. And then the other one that I wanted to show is a picture sort. Let's see, it's short I and long I. Here it is. And so in this sort, I've got, let's see, 5. So it's long I and it's short I, and it's still
sign,
focusing on the sound there.
upside,
So side,
skip,
skip, pie,
stick, twins, Smile.
So all of this fits with, let's see, that's lid. Zip, permit. So again, all of that fits with distinguishing then long from short spoken vowel sounds. So I'll finish it up real quick. Fish, pipe, bib, drive, dig, bike, and knife. And so there they are.